even at the, would I say, we don't have camps even at the level of cabinet? Of course we have. They may not be visible at the table, but outside of the cabinet, there are people that have their own agenda. That is true. In any human institution that you see, people align themselves based on their interests. And this is something that is very difficult to eradicate. But what is more important is create the conducive environment where whatever their objectives are, if they are negative, they cannot manifest without being fought.
He made it abundantly clear that his pledge for stable electricity supply is no election promise, and there is also no plan to micromanage or take over the role of the board, but simply wish they assume their responsibility with seriousness. He went on to say he cannot be expected to be sympathetic to NAWEC for the debts they are being owed, for they have not only failed to take legal action against any debtor, talk less of prosecuting staff found tampering with connections. He also called for a head count of the current staff, noting a good chunk of the revenue collected goes to paying salaries alone. President Jammeh also urged the management to select 25 of its staff for further studies, so by the next 5 years a fresh corps of engineers will return with the expertise needed to run the company. The GNPC bonding system, he said, could serve as a template. The chairman of the board of directors, Mustafa Koli, said the issues highlighted are well noted and will be given due attention, as it is also their commitment to find a solution to the problem. The managing director of NAWEC, Ibrahim Asanyang, did not belabor on the causes of the problem, but on current efforts to bring the system to normalcy. And so too were the contributions of cabinet, coming in sequence not entirely to lay the blame on NAWEC, but to remind them of the sense of priority government has on stable electricity and water supply. And just like the president also stressed the need for NAWEC to increase its cash power sale outlets in order to sustain the current flow of customers in need of their service. Abdinjai, Grts.
And before we end the news, a recap of our top stories. Professor Jammeh has delivered an ultimatum to NAWEC staff, urging them to change their laissez-faire attitude towards work or face the consequences. The 9 foreign nationals behind the cocaine stash with a street value of over $1 billion have received mandatory 50-year jail terms. Americans reeling from the effects of their country's financial woes are swelling the ranks of the grassroots movement Occupy Wall Street. And cornered but still fighting, Gaddafi diehards are holding out against revolutionary forces seeking to overrun their defenses in the city of Sirte. You can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That brings us to the end of this edition of the news. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs.
One of the most basic human reactions. A thought of making a connection, whether it's for business, a necessity, or simply a connection to your loved ones. FIG Bureau de Change is here to make that connection happen. And now, with our new banking hall on Caraba Avenue, sending and receiving money is made even more easier. FIG Bureau de Change, the Gambia's leading MoneyGram agent, with over 40 branches in 28 locations nationwide.
Want healthy, shiny, beautiful hair? Stop and Freeze Oil Moisturizer with Keravite helps to strengthen and nourish your hair, leaving it silky and conditioned with superior shine. Stop and Free, love your hair, and everyone else will too. Get the most from Stop and Freeze Oil Moisturizer with an extra 100 ml free.
Reliance Financial Services ining Money Express aning ria wale kodikio sone andalia alsala kodo kino wale sambalaro kiyeran kabolan dunia karo mumela satel mulu ko Senegal aning Africa Banku Tomal America aning Banku Kotengol dunia kono Reliance Financial Services ye male faile doku nyato wale atina ye kodikio aning sambalaro sone ani customer sole minibe doku wala jang aning banko e bantala pour kila dimbal danyini
ndele muisa si sokoto ngal kumandi Reliance Bank Money Express beje momo ni lafta kodo kila mali yena express Reliance Bank ila Money Express beje atariata a sonoyata a nambaranteje ikela kodo ki ndaka receive mali ngai receive Gambia jam
ndum siji ya kuke isila kodo ki wala nyela sambalaro dila kataba killing hani fo ni sewo ning kontano so say Reliance Financial Services be adama di wala balunya falinkanne aning Money Express ning ria woto kodo ki wala sambalaro ki yenan aning Reliance Financial Services silola mimbe sonyaring andunga be chariyaring.
I thank the Almighty Allah for what we have achieved so far. Since 1994, there are many Gambians who know what I can do. A lot of people have been treated in silence or under strict conditions of confidentiality. In fact, the first and most important condition is that the person must be diagnosed by a medical practitioner or from a medical institution that the person has this particular disease. The patient would accept to be treated publicly. These are people who have the disease for at least 12 years. Now most of them, when you check the date of diagnosis and when their problems started or when their partners died, it's almost 12 to 13 years. So we are not dealing with a new case or somebody who has been infected just a few years ago. But you will see that I said 3 days. And obviously, when you go to the records, which is film, which is on video, on tape, you will see that even after the first treatment, the first day, the first treatment in the morning, they have seen marked improvement because they all came with severe abdominal pain, constipation. Somebody was having constipation, chest congestion. Some of them, one was suffering from chronic dizziness, loss of appetite, and they could not even stand for a long time.
The results are really very impressive and excellent. In fact, most of the patients presently, they have a CD4 count of between 195 to 1,338. This is an excellent news. This means that the treatment is going very fine. There is market improvement with the patients from the laboratory point of view. This clearly shows that the treatment is very, very effective, and we are really having gains now, which we can declare to the whole